How's it going, guys? My name is Matt Shapansky. I'm a senior in the construction management program here at Alfred State.
How you doing, guys? My name is Dan Midterm. I'm also a senior here at Alfred State in the construction supervision program.
The claim we will be debating today is whether or not managers should put the good of the company ahead of their own personal interests. I will be arguing in favor of this claim, and Dan will be arguing against it. So I am in support of the argument that managers should put the good of the company ahead of their own personal interests. Northwestern University did a study on the role managers play in the workplace, and they basically decided that leadership should always put the good of the firm ahead of their own personal interests. It kind of relates to the stewardship theory, where we see the relationship between companies and encouraging the mindset to work for the company, work together, and really just motivate everyone to work as a team. And that leadership should put this before their personal interests. They should work towards their team and motivating people to want to do the best job they can, and that's ultimately where we're going to see the best value out of these employees. When we look at the managers, we look at how they delegate the work around them, how they motivate people to do their best work, and by putting the company first, you're putting these employees in a better spot to do a better job, and we see better results out of these employees as far as productivity and quality of work that we end up with. Putting your employees first will earn their respect, and as a manager, they will look up to you and want to do a good job, basically to make them proud of you and keep the company growing.
I disagree with Matt. I believe that managers should focus on their personal interests in order to better the company. When workers are allowed to include their interests in the workplace, productivity generally goes up. Ryan Westwood from Forbes states, an IT enthusiast can offer insight on current software that could improve time efficiency or be more cost effective. Just imagine how smoothly operations could run if a qualified computer hobbyist could handle troubleshooting issues in-house. Most people just turn up for work and do the job they are paid to do, and little encouragement is given to them for outside the box thinking. But if we can identify and encourage the latest talent within our organization, our resources instantly increase. When given the chance to be creative and think outside the box, workers will work much harder and will be much more productive on the tasks they're given. The morale alone is completely different in a company that includes their employees' interests rather than a company that does not. You can walk in and you can see everyone is in a great mood, happy to be there, ready for the next day. So including interest as much as you can will, at the end of the day, increase productivity immensely.
All right. In opposition to Dan's claim, I think involving personal interests at work can reduce productivity and lead to bad consequences down the road. Getting employees to buy into your mindset throughout your company is something that's very important, and I think that if these employees are not intrinsically motivated, that maybe the managers are not suited for the job or are not ready for the task. You want to find intrinsically motivated workers that want to invest into the company and they want to be there. Intrinsically motivated employees, they add value to your company. They're the kind of people who are going to be the go-getters and who are going to want to help their managers out as much as possible. And so as a manager, you are going to want to put those people first, and it will pay off in the future. Getting employees involved their outside decisions involved will maybe create some discrepancies in views at work and lead to decisions that maybe will not benefit the company, but will only benefit a few select people. So we were really looking for intrinsically motivated workers and promoting stewardship and motivating employees to do their best for the overall good of the company. And by doing this, leaving personal interests or values at home to not be involved at work. Because at the end of the day, when you're at work, you should be looking to promote the company as much as you can and do whatever you can to help them out. That's how employees should be earning their paycheck versus just showing up to work and maybe causing problems.
Although some people are very interested in their job, most workers are mainly interested in the extrinsic values from work. And that really isn't their fault. We've all been taught all of our lives that big companies don't care about their managers and their employees and only look out for the sake of the company. So it's clear as to why so many workers focus on the extrinsic value of the job. If companies began to include the personal interests of the managers and employees into the workplace, people would be able to care more about what they're doing and be able to reap the intrinsic rewards. Anyone that is only extrinsically motivated will be only as productive as what they're being compensated. A person that is motivated intrinsically will go above and beyond just because they're more interested in that topic. Always putting the company first may sound good, but in reality starves the potential from your workers. So instead, companies should begin to learn how to motivate their employees intrinsically and get them to gain that respect and care for their job. Companies need to do this in order to improve as a whole rather than just externally. Having a company fixed internally and being good internally will grow from the inside out. It'll make the company better as a whole.
Contradictory to what Dan had explained, I think that people, when they choose a career path, they know what they want and they kind of can be passionate about wherever they're getting into. This passion that people have for their jobs really makes putting the company's values first very easy. We often see values and motivators lining up between employees and their company if they've been there for a while. From the same Northwestern study, we see that the manager is involved because they want to be, not because they have to be. They're not saying do this because I'm the boss and you're the employee. They don't behave like that. People respect each other when they put the company's values first because they're all working towards the same goal. When people are intrinsically motivated, they really want to see the company succeed and they see themselves embedded into that company. When the employees put all their value into the company, we see much more productivity and a much more efficient company when people really do care about what they're working towards, and managers will reward people for doing this and putting the company first to earn a better result on a project or just maybe work people up on the pay scale.
I believe that including interest in the workplace also helps build relations with fellow employees and clients. Westwood from Forbes also said, for example, a casual employee lunch may unearth an avid golfer on your team. It seems there are just as many deals made with a driver in hand as there are talking on the telephone or sitting around a conference table. Capitalizing on the interests of your in-house golfer, mountain biker, or pro basketball fan opens up new opportunities for building and sustaining client relationships through regular meetings on the green, trail, or courtside. Building relationships with clients and coworkers is crucial in business. That relationship could be the deciding factor when a client is trying to decide between going with your company or another one. Many times a client will go with the company that he knows well or has dealt with in the past on good terms over a company that has never tried to reach out with him on anything more than a personal setting.
All right, to wrap up, managers should put the company interests ahead of their own for multiple reasons. First, it just avoids conflicts and eliminates any disagreements most of the time in the work place as far as your own personal background coming into an issue. People are intrinsically motivated and they want to see the company do well. So a company may be better off selecting employees that really do care about the company and maybe weeding out the ones that don't. We see that the more a person cares about the company and the more they're invested, the better value you get. Opinions should be left at home. Putting company interests in your forefront of your attention will serve to be much more valuable to your employees. Motivating employees is just as important as motivating yourself as a manager, because at the end of the day, your employees are most of the time the ones who are doing the actual work. And if you can instill your company values into these people and into yourself, you'll be a better motivator, a better manager to these employees, and the employees will see more value out of their work. They might see monetary increases, and just overall, putting the company's interests first is in your benefit. Maybe the way someone looks at it is their personal interests could be more important, maybe at home, but at the end of the day at work, you're there to do a job, and putting your interests first is not the way to go. Putting the company's interests will lead to success and will lead to your company thriving.
In conclusion, companies should value their managers' employees' interests in order to improve their company. Things like worker equality and diversity in the workplace have become better just by listening to workers' personal interests. Companies would have never offered their employees the benefits they do now if they never listened to the interests of their employees. Workers are happier when doing things that they're interested in, which in turn makes them more productive. So if you want your team to be more productive, you gotta listen to what makes them interested, not just tell them, hey, you gotta get this done. So the best way to improve your company is to listen to the people that are actually working and to make changes that they want.